This Saturday reminded me so much of the old days. I turned on an SEC basketball game and time warped back to 1988 and found myself watching an inexperienced Chicago Bulls team getting monkey stomped by the Detroit Pistons. At least that's what it looked like to me. Welcome to Around the Herd. Welcome to Around the Herd. I think my microphone was muted. Oh my goodness. What's happening with you, everybody? Coming in early, it's me. He's saying the yellow fella ran out of money to pay the refs. He says decent. No, they ain't hiding. They accused me of hiding because I decided to take my family on a little vacay right after we lost to Auburn. But we'll get to that in a little while. What's going on with you, Hunky? Welcome to Around the Herd. I don't know if y'all heard me, so I'm going to say it again. This Saturday, I tuned into a SEC basketball game, and I guess I got time warped back into 1988 because I was watching the basketball game. All of a sudden, it seemed like it was an 88 basketball game of the young Chicago Bulls getting criminally assaulted by the Detroit Pistons. I ain't lying. Y'all saw it. Then we're going to talk about it. But roll tide and welcome to Tight Sports. This is the Alabama Football Megacast and the People's Crimson Tide Network. I am the Jack Reacher of SEC football. I don't know what that means, but I kind of like how it sounds. Today is March 10th, and it's time to take a walk around the herd. Here on Tight Sports, we talk Alabama football all day, any day, and any sports where Alabama can get a win. A win and a conference championship be real nice. That's why we always saying around here, our mindset is that the Crimson Tide, right here on Tight Sports, Crimson Tide is always in title run mode. And to the haters and doubters, just come on in, take notes, behave yourself. You might just learn you something. Please tip a brother on the way in. And what I mean is like take the tip of your finger because I can't take cash yet. I will be with your help. But take the tip of your finger and put it on the subscribe button. Just put it right there. Just hit it. Oh, and I want to say a special thank you to all of you because we now have 400 subscribers. That's right. 400 subscribers have tuned in to Tight Sports at some point in their life, and they have found me worthy of their attention. I just want you to know, too, if I'm successful at stimulating the gray matter, the happy juice in your gray matter, and I make your funny bone giggle, would you please do me a favor and reach out and just hit that like button right in the eye? You see what I'm pointing right there? If you put it right there, hit it right there in that eye. Now, after a close loss on May 1st to Tennessee, a game that came down to one measly shot. I mean, the statistics were pretty good. We lost that game 79-76 because dude did a little 3-point shot, Hail Mary, full of grace, Steph Curry thing. I'll come back with Steph in a minute. You know, we lost. And then we moved over to getting chumped on by the Florida Gators. I mean, the turnovers in both of those games were kind of close. It wasn't nothing like earth-shattering, but things still wasn't looking good heading down the plains to an AU team that gives up about 69.2 points a game. I mean, that's what they give up, not what they score. We was averaging 90-something. Their defense is kind of tough. So it wasn't looking good. And while we averaged 11-something turnovers a game, Auburn was averaging like 7. So you can't, you got to beat them on the board, something like that. But first off, I mean, just wasn't looking good. So I still picked them. But, Alabama basketball is a lot like last year's Alabama football offense. It was like a box of chocolate. You ain't never know what you was going to get. You know what I'm saying? You turn TV on, look, be like, no 3-pointers? Okay. 15 turnovers? All right. Just didn't know. I had no confidence. Still worried about the doggone tournament coming up. But on Iron Bowl debate on Friday, the last Friday show we're going to do until we get closer to the season, I picked my squad. I figured they had to find a way to win. Either it's going to get beat down again by Auburn, or it's going to find a way to win. I had not a lot of confidence behind my choice, but I didn't know what was going to happen. But what happened was great. It was a great game. Had a lot of ebbs and flows to it. Hustle and flow to you, Huggy, out of the game. And the Tide pulled it out 93-91. And I want to just lay that victory at the feet of DC. DC is the one that said, we're going to keep him quiet. We're going to keep Mark Seals out the game. We're going to do this to that. Mark Seals, he used the quiet. Shh, he going to keep quiet. I was like, so Mark Seals, he faked the old give and go. He entered the lane, and he launched the left-handed floater and dropped the number 1 AU Tigers in the Neville chicken coop, and we got the win. I mean, it was great, man. It was a real tight game. Auburn shot 47% from the field. Alabama was at 52, which is pretty good against that defense. 31% from three-point line, and Auburn was 38% from the free throw line. I mean, a really tight game. We did beat them on the board by 8, and it was just out. I mean, it was a good game if you look at it independently. We just didn't win. I was just glad to get the tie because they already put a lump upside Alabama's head by like 16, 17. So clearly not bragging. And we've lost like twice as many games as they have. So, but Auburn they led in assists by 6. They had 2 more steals. They had 4 more block shots. We still had +6 in turnovers and won that game. I mean, them guys had to reach down deep inside, and they just gutted that thing out. When I go to the individual accolades, I mean, it wasn't me, but Dick Vitale talking about it's Amore. I mean, come on, man. Come on, Dickie V. He said some more. Inside is what killed him. The scoring in the paint is what kind of kept us in the game. Like I said, a last-minute shot in overtime. Oh, man. It ain't no kick 6, but it was definitely a nice win. Grant Nelson, you never know when Grant coming in. Let me make sure. You never know when Grant coming in. You got to keep your head up. That boy turned the ball over more than he need to because he don't need to dribble outside of the three-point line. But if you stand down in that paint, I don't care if he on your team. He may try to slam it at any time, so you got to be careful. But Grant Nelson led the Tide in scoring 23 points for the whole game. Omari had 15. My little Fairman, more on him later. My little Fairman, Phylon came in there with 15, and Youngblood had 9, despite being physically accosted. And like, Mark Sears, he had 9 points. He averages 19.2, but he had 7 assists. And that's sometimes just what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It was on him. They stayed up in his pockets. Aiden Holloway, man. Aiden Holloway is a transfer from Auburn University, and it just wasn't his game. This wasn't his game. I don't think I've seen him play that bad. I think if he played that bad all year, he probably wouldn't have been in the game. But I don't know if Coach Oates could see it in his face. So every time he took a shot and he missed it, he took him to the bench. He didn't let him kind of stay out there and flounder or pick himself back up. I don't know if I like that, but I get it because he is like a sophomore. And, maybe next year it'll come together a little bit better. Let's move on to the WWE winner of the Battle Royale, Baker Mazzara, a.k.a. the ejectable one. I mean, the first foul he had where he drew blood, it was an honest swipe for the ball that drew blood and caused my man Youngblood to get some stitches. You know what I'm saying? Youngblood just doing his job. He got his hard hat on. He doing what he's supposed to do. However, I had to go back and say, now, why did he do that? And I don't know. It must have been frustration. I think it's something the coach or his coach or the coach's assistant coach said. Because at the 11-minute mark, after an AU turnover, the phlebotomist, Baker Mazzara, phlebotomist because he draws blood, he was called to the bench for a breather, just for a breather. And then 11:08, he was brought back into the game on an Alabama free throw, the second Alabama free throw attempt. So he gave him a little rest. No big deal. AU took the ball out. AU defender Chris Youngblood babysat Mazzara, the phlebotomist, from about 8 feet away because Mazzara went to the corner, right? He was standing at the corner, so he was just watching the ball, and he was like, he get the 3, I'm gonna have to run out on him, but it's about 8 feet away. So there wasn't no mix up on this side and then a mix up on that side that caused him to get ejected. Shot goes up. My man, Youngblood just go for the box out. And out of the corner came Dusty Rhodes to Malcolm Dream. He dropped the atomic elbow on him, baby, because he deserved it. It was a Columbus. It was a catastrophe in Columbus. Man, hit my man, CTEs and all kind of concussions happened. They threw him out the game, man. I don't know why he went off like that. I just felt like Gordon Soley just going over the tape, seeing what happened. It seemed like, 1 minute, Tommy Wildfire Rich came in and he was about to give it to him. Then the sheepherder just showed up out of nowhere in a Jeep and kicked his butt at a Winn-Dixie. Old school wrestling stuff, y'all. Y'all may not know about that. But I just said, man, and then the audacity, they hit this man in the back of the head and they tried to take the ball it was Alabama's ball. We was going this way. They stopped the play and the crowd was like, boo, oh man, no, he just flopping. Because the referee said, we ain't saying that, we ain't saying nothing wrong. We just want to know what happened. Some man, let's look at the tape. They're like, no, boo, boo. And I was like, come on, Auburn folks. Something happened. Luckily, Baker Mazzara ended up being treated like a funky and busted, burnt dish that was sent off to the Auburn locker room. He was probably back there unpacking some new TP for Toomer's Corner. Get ready for that big celebration that was not to be. Youngblood was banged up, playing tough defense out there. But, man, hopefully he'll be fine for the SEC tournament. We're going to have to get that man some counseling. Sometimes, people that are victims of assaults, they need to be counseled because they're not arrested. So next time he hold his hands like this, he could be bouncing on a wall at a funny house, or he could be going on the edge of the mountain. He gonna think about some dude trying to pipe him in the back of the head. But I think Chris Youngblood is gonna bounce back. Anyway, Tigers, I just want to wish you the very much worst luck during the tournament. You kegel of thuggish hacks. Congratulations are in order. Congratulations are in order for LeBaron Phylon. That's a very interesting name. I knew this guy whose mom had a LeBaron. She smoked Virginia Slims, and she's had a way about it. But her name was, she drove LeBaron. But LeBaron Fallon is all SEC freshman. The dude, he don't shoot like I want him to shoot, but he can handle the ball. And Mark Sears, of course, is first team all SEC. Congratulations to those guys. You definitely deserve it. Big win. I hope you stay hot for the tournaments ahead. Switching lanes to the ladies. How can I best describe the ladies' venture into the SEC tournament? How about this? Yeah, it was grand opening, grand closing. The Lady Tigers, they lost to the Gators in the second round of the SEC championship. Freshman Liv McGill scored 11 of her season high 29 points in the fourth quarter as the number 11 seed. Florida hung on to stun the 19th ranked Tide. We was a 6th seed, but the 19th ranked Tide. They let a Fedman do it, man. 6'3", 61. And I'm looking over this Liv McGill had 29 points. A Fedman. She reminded me of Damon Stoudemire, but she a Fedman. Let a Fedman do that to you, man. Just deal them up. Meanwhile, the ladies of the Crimson Tide, they dressed 8 people. It was 8 people on the dress for the game. I hope they had more than that. Should have been somebody in street clothes or something. But they put forth an effort. I mean, Sarah Ashley Barker, I don't know if she'll get to the WNBA, but she is my personal Tuscaloosa Lady LeBron James. She came in with 24 points, 9 for 17. They probably double teamed the whole game because ain't nobody else going to do nothing else on the team. She still had 8 rebounds. And, of course, Zay Green, she came in there with 11. Nye had 13, but they just don't get enough help. Guess how many bench points these ladies had? Guess how many bench points the University of Alabama had in the SEC tournament as a 6th seed? Did you say 6? Did you say 16? You'll be wrong. They had 0, folks. They had 0. You got people on scholarship, God forbid, NIL scored 0 points in the SEC. See, they're going to get like some of these other conferences. There's some conferences like you can't go. But they was a 6th seed. But they're going to like, y'all can't. We need to ask people, y'all going to score? We put y'all in the game. They got a total of 25 minutes play between 3 people. Everybody else tired, right? Everybody else is tired. They're averaging quick total. They're averaging 30 minutes. Ain't no bench. We get them 25 minutes, 0. Lost by 2 points. Coach Christy Curry. We got to get it together, ma'am. We got to get it together. The Alabama Crimson Tide family, we need and we demand more. Coach, come on now. Who are these people? Come on now. Come on. Hit the road. Go get down into Brazil or something. Fall down Stanley around and catch up crumbs. This is ridiculous. Whew. Turning to the Diamond, men's baseball. They dropped the 3rd game of a 3-game series. They were 16-0 going into the 3rd game of the series. And then they dropped the 3rd game of this series. It was a big game against Presbyterian College. Raise your hand if you ever heard of Presbyterian College. Raise both hands if you know where it's located. Then get up on your feet with your hands up and go get a life if you know both of the answers to both of them questions. Presbyterian College is 8-9 in baseball after beating the University of Alabama, who was 16-0. And I think I see a little coach work at play right here. Tide head coach Rob Vaughn, he stated the following about this game. He says, tough way to finish the weekend. You rule run twice. They rule run. They be like 11-0, 9-0, and they ended the game early. Twice. Then it gets you today. Sound like the coach setting his team up for some work, for some laps. And I like it. I get it. you can't go undefeated anyway, but you're getting ready for conference play. Then he said, I had a boss tell me a long time ago, you have to deserve to win. I thought from that second inning through the ninth, they were a tougher team in every facet. I thought they played cleaner defense than we did. I thought they threw more strikes, and they competed out of the bullpen significantly better than we did. They hit with guys on the base better than we did today, and that's why you lose. When you look at college baseball, it doesn't matter if you're the number one ranked team in the country or the worst team in college baseball. Anybody can beat anybody. And I think that's the beat of the game. So we have to turn our attention to Tuesday and bounce back. I like it, Coach. I like that, Coach. I like what you're saying there. You're getting the boys ready. See, in baseball, you can take a loss because just to let you know, Tuesday they go to Birmingham and they're gonna probably beat they're gonna slobber knock them kids before they open up conference play against Texas A&M in a 3-game series. But good job, Coach. Way to find a reason to work on them and grind them out. I went through the stats. You know how I do. I can't go ahead and throw no pictures or nothing like that and help them out. I ain't standing at that plate. The devil is a lie. Anyway, I looked at the stats. The first 2 games where they run Presbyterian College, Alabama used 3 pitchers. They used 1 pitcher to pitch the first 6 innings, and they used 2 pitchers to relieve and close the game. They used them same pitchers in game number 2, got the rule run. In the 3rd game, those 3 pitchers did not pitch again. However, they let 7 other pitchers pitch in that 3rd game, and we lost to these people 11-8. Didn't even come close. So I can see, I guess he's trying to let the team know we got to rely on a couple of starters. It's going to be a problem around here. It's going to be a long season. Keep your heads up, men. Coach, know your weaknesses. Let him help you with all your weaknesses right there. Where are we? Huggy came in there. He thought something I said was pretty funny. I'm really serious. Shout out to the Dream, Dustin Rose and Malcolm Dream. I think Dustin Rose actually, he might be my 4th cousin. He said, damn type, very impressive. Yeah, I work hard at this. Because we're going to the top. Gordon Soley, Wildfire. Man, I should love Tell Me Wildfire Rich. Like, how can you punch somebody like that? Because that ain't what they did at karate class. Summer Nimke, Marlon Sims, he swung much faster than that. You had to duck. It's in the 6th grade, man. Why would you try to grab me in my mouth and flip me? That one. Anyway, thank you for coming in there. 4 cousins, 4th of 7 teams. We got the same body dimensions. What you think about his boots? He has some real cowboy boots for you. And where we at here? Oh yeah. And before we talk football, we gotta say something about a softball team struggling. They're struggling with a K, y'all. 19-7. Conference play haven't even started in 19-7. And a lot of this because they play in tournaments with more powerful teams. Like, they go play these tournaments with these teams that you probably should warm up with other people first. They don't do that. The baseball team plays Presbyterian, but the ladies be out there playing like Oklahoma and go get some Arizona and some UCLA. When girls were real serious about softball, and you can't do them, take a loss. So they haven't started the conference play, but I hope they pull it together because that's a lot of losses. 7 losses already, 12-2 at home. And like I said, they're 12-2 at home, 1-1 on the road, but they're 6-4 in neutral play. That's them tournaments. So I think I don't know. I can't tell you how good they're going to be. I know they got some people that can really hit that ball, and they got a hell of a pitcher out there, but we're going to keep watching them and see where they go. Roll Tide to them. So I do feel they're going to pull it together, man. I hope they can pull it together because coming up next, I think it's their last non-conference game. They're headed down to that litter box in Mobile, and they're going to take on the South Alabama Pumas, Pandas, Possums, something like that. They're going to hit them across their head. Now let's talk about them head busters. That's right. Spring training is in full effect. It rages on, and there are several battles going on out there on the field, throughout the complex. I mean, it's all kind of stuff. I hear that Slick Sheridan's trying to get some office space because he has been booted from the offense coordinator's office, allegedly, and he's fighting over the janitor's closet with the head janitor right now. Good luck to you, Mr. Custodial Engineer. But one of the biggest battles that's going on right now, of course, is the QB battle. Ryan Grubb had comments on everybody. He didn't name nobody. He just said great things about everything. He said Ty, like I said, I think he's really impressive. One thing I appreciate about Ty, you already can tell he's very serious about wanting to succeed. He's had that mindset. He's been ready. He's been in this. He's been kind of waiting in the wings, so to speak. It's just a bunch of coaches speak. They keep asking the questions and keep talking. It's kind of like me. If you ask me a question about aerospace or aeronautical, or ask me what's the difference between miles per hour or not, I'm gonna tell you miles per hour is the speed, land speed, and a knot is what you learn in the Boy Scouts. So then he went on and started talking about who next. Austin Mack. I told you he called Austin Mack's parents. He don't call him Mr. and Mrs. Mack. He called them by whatever their real name. They that type. He said, I always believe in Austin. Is that a message? He's got a big upside. I thought he really done a good job working on his techniques, throwing motion, things like that. I can tell he's been working hard on it the last year. He's a very bright kid. I know that he can process the offense. He came to our system really, really young, 17-year-old freshman. You got to remember, he got out of there early. He did 3 years of high school, 1 year as a starter. And I kind of thought that when they got Austin at Washington, that he would have like 6 months with Mike Penix. And he kind of saw how it's supposed to be done. I certainly think he's gravitated to that, meaning toward Mike Penix. It looks like he's matured a lot, and I'm excited to be with him. Ooh, I don't know about y'all, but that's a little bit further than what he said about Ty. Ty still got the lead seat to me, but boy, if Ty twists the ankle, he's gonna be in trouble. And about Keelan Russell, he said one of the things I noticed about I've noticed is thinking about back when they coached this other guy at Fresno State. He's with the Saints now. He said Jake's got a real whippy, quick release. Once he made his decision, he was very decisive with the ball, and he sees that with Keelan a lot. And then Keelan's visions remind me of Penix a little bit. He has good, wide vision with the field. He can see it even when he doesn't know exactly. Even so, he can see it even when he doesn't know exactly what's going on. So he's still working through all the processes, but he'll get there. He's a good player. I kind of see him, Keelan, in that third position. Everybody, the people that are watching practice, they say it's kind of a clear Ty is QB1 right now. Austin is QB2, and Keelan. I don't know if we're gonna lose Austin come May. Yeah, I just don't know yet. I'm releasing a series of videos. Just going back, looking at some playing film on all these guys. Please keep an eye out for that. That's why you got to subscribe, hit the notifications, and hopefully YouTube will let you know when I drop something. But just, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be diving into a lot of position battles as we go forward. Now, he said that Grubb has watched all 3 quarterbacks through the 2 spring trainings practices they've had. I think they had another one today. What they're doing like Monday weights, Wednesday weights. I think they're off on Friday. So the third one should have been today. And they got 12 or 11 more to go. And his overall thoughts on the signal callers are that I think they each, just like any quarterback, have their own individual strengths and weaknesses. Duh! Thank you, Captain Obvious Grubbs. So, we know they got their own individual strengths because we're unique people. I'm me, you're you, and that's why I love you. What show is that from? What we got in the chat right here? Huggy says, Tommy, my dog, what you know about them Bullet Bob Armstrong? Yeah, man, Bullet, what's his brother, what's his son name? Chad? The Chad Armstrong? Got a deal. I got you, Huggy. Appreciate you falling through. Let's see. Now, we do know when it comes to this quarterback, one, although he says that Ty made a jump from day one to day two, one day two jump does not a QB1 make. But I think in his time in the locker room and the QB room would be a plus for Ty. But the bigger battle that's going on the offense deals with Coach Kapovich. He's overseeing the most important battle on the field. That is our offensive lineman. It appears that returning starters Jaden Robertson and Parker Brailsford, we could pencil them in for right guard and center, respectively. Proctor is hampered. I don't know what's wrong. It's that same shoulder problem he had before some game. Don't know. I don't want to. They're going to keep him off the field. Tyler Booker's gone, so it's a lot of positions that are up for grabs, and I hope we can build some depth in this process. The contenders at right guard are, these some hard names. Olis Elanine, Chelsea. You remember Geno Vandermark came down here from Michigan State. He's still there. And Rock Montgomery, all of them can play. Rock can play at the center position or at his left guard, just in case, it's good backup. But we need somebody to go out there and win, somebody to be real nasty. The absolute weakest position on the line is right tackle because just don't have any experience there. Wilkin Formby probably has the most experience, but he's ailing. He's not even out there on the field practicing right now, and I think people are okay with that. There's a guy who transferred in. Let me get this right. Arkell Anguam. Anguam. That's how you use it. It's not spelled that way. Trust me. Seems like it's some Nigerian up in there somewhere, but it's Arkell Anguam. He's a prototypical size tackle. Huge. I think he's 6'6", 330. Got some moves on him. Why did he come from Ball State? Don't know. We got the kicker from there, so I'm scared to death. Kicker from last year. Well, I don't know. I ain't like the kicker. I didn't like the kicker. I hope we didn't overpay. I hope that young man is successful in whatever he decides to do. But Ball State, this is not Ball State. I just say that. It ain't Ball State. It ain't Trust State. It's a different thing. Casey Poe has been working at both tackle positions. Big guy that's big and nasty. And like I said, Wilkin Formby is out. But we also have a true freshman, Jackson Lloyd, and Mel Waldrop Jr., who not far behind. They've been making some noise out there, getting reps at tackle, along with the nasty man himself, Michael Carroll, out of IMG Academy. And all three of them dudes are huge. Some of them are more technically gifted than others. Like, they got the kick step together at tackle. I think one of them works left and right, and all those things. It's very important that you get your kick step down. If you don't know what that is, see YouTube. It looks weird, it looks funny, but it's crucial in stopping some of these great defensive ends from turning the corner on you and turning the lights out on your quarterback. Grubb also said that springtime is for development, especially up front, but the Crimson Tide could be showing that there's not much room between the top of the depth chart and inexperience. I mean, it's kind of flat. And it's going to take time to build that up. So those scrimmages that happen behind closed doors, they're going to be nasty. But we're just going to trust that he knows his business. And let's not act like the line was solid for the last 2 seasons. Let's not act like we just did that solid. We had pieces here and there, but we based on what we saw in the Saban at times, line was just incredible. So they're trying to do a new thing. They want to be aggressive and flexible. They want to be balanced. So you got to be able to do two things. You got to be able to run block, pass block, drop of a hat at any time. Get hurt, we got to be able to put somebody in to keep it moving. So moving to the defensive side of the ball, according to the Tuscaloosa News, we're pretty much set on defense, but there's a problem. The interior of the defensive line and the Husky position, it seems to be not as set when it comes to depth as just like the offensive line is on the inside a little bit. It's not set because in the back seven we got Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson. They got injuries, but they coming back. But N'Keal Hill-Green, they got from Colorado, he ripping things up out there. They say he fits like a glove. So he's doing his thing out there. So really excited to see him. So you got a good rotation going right there. That's good. And we got people in the back. We got all kind of DBs back there. I mean, even the doggone, what's the guy name? I can't think of his name. This rookie, he's like 6'4", but he said he's playing like he's 7'5" at DB. 6'4", but he playing like he's 7'5" at DB. Come on now. But the bodies on the defensive line, they're still working things out. And it's not a body problem, but it's finding the correct bodies. Experience is slim. So they're trying to put this thing together. Womack is saying, he described as one of his biggest areas of concern is that, is the interior of the defensive line. But, the starter scene set where you got Tim Keaton third coming back. You got James Smith. But, James Smith is currently injured. So we got to keep people going. But behind them is a slew of players. They just don't have enough experience right now. And I think they want to do more rotating than they did last year, which was a problem with our run defense. So Womack, Tim Keaton, and LT Overton, who thank God he came back for another season because they wonder if he's going to declare because he showed a little flash. He got hurt for a game, but he decided to come back. I'm so happy he's still there. But they were praising players like redshirt sophomore Edric Hill, 6'3", 275. Redshirt freshman Jeremiah Beeman, 6'4", 300. And my man, sophomore, probably a 28-year-old sophomore. No. Sophomore Steve Bolo Mbua. Yeah, that's right. Mbua, 6'4", 298. When I first did the film on the ball, it was 280. And he was crushing folks. But he's a natural born body banger. And, they also, there's a lot of sharing going on in the bandit room. Like Florida transfer Kelby Collins is being really impressive. He's up to 285 now at 6'4". Red shirt, sophomore Jordan Renard, 6'4", 260. They're cross-training, you know what I'm saying? But Coach Womack was very clear when he said, if development doesn't happen, Alabama will address those needs any way need to. And what I took from that is this. I led an attitude because when I was doing player reviews last year, films for the people coming in, I noticed we had some people that were linemen. They're slated as linemen, but their technical stuff didn't look like the other high school kids' technical stuff. They were just brawlers playing on the line. But they also played defensive line. So their video was just as much offensive line as it was defensive line. So these guys they're very aggressive, and they wasn't that technical, but they had awesome agility, and like I said, aggression was very high. So Coach Kane, if he needs additional bodies that are committed to inflicting damage to specific persons, then I'm telling you, Michael Carroll, IMG Academy, and this guy from Mobile, Alabama, Michael Dubose, they got that demolition switch installed on them. They got it. I mean, it's not a problem for them to just roll up on somebody and just crush them just because coach said so. And you can put them on the interior. If somebody tired, the second string person tired, or somebody twist the ankle, put them in the rotation. Teaching them guys the defense, they might not go back to offense. Those two, remember that name, Michael Dubose and Michael Carroll. I'm telling you, them guys got what it takes. Let me check the chat one more time. Think we're good there, but that's all I got. That's a wrap for me, folks, today. Join us here every Monday at 7:30 unless it's a major holiday. Please remember to join me Wednesday at 6 p.m. for Iron Bowl debates, where we discuss topics on anything about the Iron Bowl, about Alabama and Auburn, about Auburn, Tuscaloosa, about South Alabama, North Alabama, whatever. We may even come up with some kind of debate over like who has the driest biscuit in fast food fast food services? Is it Popeyes, Mickey D's, or the new Hardee's biscuit? Because the old Hardee's biscuit was something special. It was something special, but they changed the recipe. I'm gonna tell you about your biscuit, folks. If I gotta use chapstick after eating your biscuit, I don't need you in my life. I don't want that. And remember to subscribe. Hit that notification so you'll know when we go live or whether there's a Stampede or Alabama sporting news breaking right here on Tight Sports. Something that you may need to hear about. Tell your friends so you can find me on YouTube, Blue Sky, Facebook at Tight Sports, and out there on the Badlands of Twitter, better known as X. You can find me at Tight Sport Talk. Shout out to the Sharpshooters Podcast. Roll Tide to you. And peace to the brothers at Auburn Addicts. Water Cooler Podcast. Bub and Old Man, a fine group of Americans that give Hugh Freeze all the support that he needs for some weird reason. Get well soon there, Hugh. Well, with that, I'll see you next time around here, around the herd. And always remember, folks, roll, tide, rope.